2 years working in retail while I've been trying to get into something which is into my. But then I realized something that changed everything for me. Rejection doesn't define your worth, it as feedback. I started asking myself, what can I learn from this? I realized those 2 years of rejection weren't a waste, and they were preparing me for this. Rejections are tough, believe me, I've been there. You've done everything right, but when you get that email that they've chosen someone else, I know that sting all too well. When I moved to Canada, I faced rejection after rejection, and today I'm going to share my personal story with you. How I built resilience after countless rejections and the lessons I learned along the way. If you're struggling with rejection right now, stick with me. By the end of this video, you will understand that rejection is not the end of your story. It can be the beginning of something greater.
Welcome to Rejections. My name is Gautam Tuluku and thank you for watching my channel. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I try to bring in content related to HR, careers, life in Canada and much more beyond that. Your journey, my story.
Let me take you back to 2021 when I first moved to Canada. I had 15 years of experience in talent acquisition, building teams, strategies and hiring for some of the largest organizations such as Deloitte. But when I arrived here, things didn't go as I expected them to be. Despite all that experience, I spent around 2 years working in retail while I've been trying to get into something which is into my core expertise, which is human resources and the field that I loved. Like many of you, I had high hopes when I applied for a role. But time after time, I faced rejection. Each time, that feeling of disappointment crept in. Was I not good enough? What did I do wrong? These thoughts weighed on me heavily. But then I realized something that changed everything for me. Rejection doesn't define your worth, it's just part of the game and the journey. And how you respond to it matters, and that truly shapes your career that you plan ahead. In those early days, every rejection felt very personal to me. I questioned myself constantly, but eventually I shifted my mindset. Instead of seeing rejection as a failure, I began treating it as feedback. I started asking myself, what can I learn from this? Every rejection became a chance to improve. I remember one particular rejection that stung the most. I was so sure I was going to get the job, but exactly what I was doing in the past, but I didn't. Instead of getting down, I reached out for feedback from the recruiter. That conversation changed my perspective. It highlighted an area I needed to work on, something I hadn't even realized. So I worked on it, and when a similar opportunity came around months after, I was ready for it. And guess what? I got the job. So whenever you face rejection, don't just ask why it didn't work out at that moment. Ask what you can learn from it. Use that feedback to refine your skill set and improve your approach and get closer to your next opportunity. You may get it even tomorrow. After countless rejections, I know how easy it is to feel like giving up. But the truth is, resilience is about continuing to move forward even when everything feels stacked against you. Each no is bringing one step closer to that yes you've been waiting for months or years. For me, it was a mindset shift. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? I started asking, how can I grow from this? It wasn't easy, of course, but every rejection made me stronger and more determined. And when I finally landed my role at NBCC, one of the Atlantic Canada's leading post-secondary institution, I realized those 2 years of rejection weren't a waste, and they were preparing me for this. One of the things that kept me going during that tough time was having a solid support system. Friends, mentors, or even other job seekers helped me see things differently. They reminded me that rejection isn't the end of everything, it's just part of the process. If you're going through this right now, I can't stress this enough. Don't isolate yourself. Talk to people who can lift you up, remind you of your strengths, your past achievements, and help you refocus. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation to regain your confidence and stay on track and focused on what you wanted as an end goal. Yes, something that really kept me motivated: celebrating the small wins. It's easy to get caught up in the big goal of landing a dream job, but don't forget to acknowledge the little wins or victories along the way that you come across, such as, did you nail an interview question? Did you make a new networking connection? Celebrate that. The small wins are a progress. They remind you that even though you may not have reached your goal yet, you are moving forward. Looking back, I realized that rejection was sometimes just redirection. Some of the jobs I didn't get weren't the right fit for me anyway, be it the compensation or the kind of work that I'm going to get into, or the kind of value that I might bring to the organization, or the organization adds value to me. I think both they didn't really tag along well when I introspected at a later period of time. When the right opportunity came along, I was more prepared, more experienced, and more resilient. Because of all those earlier rejections, I was so prepared to get what I dreamed of. So trust the process. Every step, every rejection, every lesson is part of the journey that's preparing you for the right role. If you're facing job rejections right now, I know it's really tough, but remember, rejection doesn't define you. It's just part of the process. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going. The right opportunity is out there, and when it comes, you will be more than ready. Thanks for sticking with me on this journey. If my story resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up and share your own experiences in the comment section. I would love to hear your building resilience process, and don't forget to subscribe to Great Tales for more of such career content and my personal stories. Keep pushing forward. You got this.